What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on 12 sleepers that your league mates are not drafting. Yes, guys, 12 sleepers that your league mates are not drafting. Now, listen, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Now, listen, guys, there's different types of sleepers. There are sleepers who could be league winners. There are sleepers who can get you into the playoffs. Every sleeper doesn't have to be a Puka Nacua or a Kyron Williams. Some sleepers can be a 3-week sleeper that help you get the #1 seed or #2 seed to get you a bye, and you can win your championship that way. So that's why I like to talk about all different types of sleepers. So guys, with no further ado, let's begin. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. So the first guy that I want to talk about that's a sleeper that nobody else is talking about, your league mates are not drafting him, is Courtland Sutton. Yes, Courtland Sutton. And the reason why, guys, that I like Courtland Sutton is because he is the #1 wide receiver on this team. Now, listen, last year I wasn't on him because that's before Tim Patrick got hurt. You also had Jerry Jeudy there. You had Greg Dolcher. You had a lot of guys that was up for targets with Russell Wilson. But now they got rid of Jerry Jeudy. They have Troy Franklin, which is a rookie. Who's going to get the targets? Who's going to be trustworthy there? It's going to be Courtland Sutton. Yes, guys, Courtland Sutton. So I'm high on Courtland Sutton. Make sure you pick him up. I think this guy could be a league winner. You're getting a #1 wide receiver in round 8 or later. Killer value. Let's move on to my #2 sleeper. My number two sleeper is going to be Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch, yes, guys. Now, listen, the reason why I like Greg Dortch, we know that Zay Jones is being suspended. So who's going to be the slot guy? Now, listen, even if Zay Jones wasn't suspended, somebody had to be the slot guy. Because Zay Jones is not a great slot wide receiver, but Greg Dortch is, guys. It's been plenty of guys that come through there, and Greg Dortch is still there. Like, they can't get rid of Greg Dortch because he's too good. He's a great slot wide receiver. So, yeah, they got Marvin Harrison on the outside. Yeah, they got Trey McBride moving around as a hybrid. But who else? They need somebody else. Do you think Michael Wilson is going to have 80 catches? I don't know. I think it could be Greg Dortch. So I'm drafting Greg Dortch and stashing him on my team to see how this offense comes out in the first couple of weeks. They let me know if I got something or I need to move on. Either way, it's not going to hurt you because his ADP is not even really getting drafted. So that's why I love Greg Dortch as a sleeper, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. We got 9 people in here. We don't got a like. Let's get the likes up. Okay, so let's move on to my, yes, sir, Harambe. I see you, Will Hayes. I see you, Siobhan. I see you, Ethan Carey. Okay, so the #3 guy is going to be Demarcus Robinson. Yes, guys, Demarcus Robinson. And the reason why, guys, I like Demarcus Robinson is we know that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp can get injured. I'm not saying they injury prone, but we've seen them have injuries. So I think Demarcus Robinson could be good for you in case one of these guys go down. And even if in a situation that neither one of these guys goes down, Demarcus Robinson can still be good for you. If you go back to last year in the 4th quadrant, Demarcus Robinson had averaged like 11 and 12 points with Puka and Cooper Kupp being on the field. With Puka and Cooper Kupp on the field. So I think Demarcus Robinson, guys, is a great safe pick. I'm drafting him as a bench wide receiver in almost every single league that I'm in because nobody's drafting him. He's a sleeper. And we know Puka Nacua has a knee injury right now. They said he burst a sack or something like that, pause, like something's minor, but we don't know, right? So I think Demarcus Robinson is a great insurance plan for whatever happens with those receivers. All right, let's move on to my #4 guy. This is a tight end. This is a tight end from the New Orleans Saints. And listen, guys, before I talk about this guy, I want to let you know this live is not going to be super long. I got a draft in like 45 minutes, but I wanted to do a live. I know y'all love the live content, so I just didn't want to drop another video. But those videos that I drop short form are informative. Make sure you give it the time of the day. The video about Jalen Water and Tyreek and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, those are some of my best videos, believe it or not. Okay, but then my #4 guy is a tight end. It's going to be Juwan Johnson. Yes, guys, Juwan Johnson. The reason why I like Juwan Johnson, guys, he just came off IR. He's not going to be on the PUP list. Now, if you go back and look at Juwan Johnson the last 2 years for New Orleans, even with Taysom Hill being there, Juwan Johnson has been a really good tight end. He started off coming out when he came out of college, he was a wide receiver, 6'6" wide receiver, who was a little bit slow jump ball guy. But they told him to put on some weight, put him at tight end. Now this guy is a mismatch for any linebacker or safety that want to guard him. He's healthy. Derek Carr, to me, his favorite guys to target on this team is Rashid Shaheed and Juwan Johnson. And of course, Olave is the number one. I just don't think they got the rapport that I want to see between a quarterback and a number one wide receiver. But either way, I think Juwan Johnson, for his tight ends, if you wait late and get him, I think you should be satisfied with that. I think Juwan Johnson is going to give you all the upside that you want, especially in the green zone and targets in the green zone. So make sure, guys, that you pick up Juwan Johnson. This is a sleeper that nobody is drafting. Okay, let's move on to my number 5 guy. This is a wide receiver. This guy was drafted in the top 10 2 years ago. And it's Jameson Williams. Yes, Jameson Williams from the Detroit Lions. Guys, they said he had a phenomenal camp. Dan Campbell said he had a phenomenal camp. And whatever Dan Campbell says, you take it to the bank and cash it. Because he don't play no games. He don't joke. He don't do anything. I about said a joke on him, but I'm not going to do that. But Dan Campbell was very, very serious. So listen, guys, I think Jameson Williams is going to have some big plays this year. What does the Detroit Lions need? That's what you have to ask for every single team each year that you come out. What do you need to get better? Kansas City won a championship, but they know what they needed to get better. They know they needed some deep speed, right? Xavier Worthy, right? So what does Detroit need? They need somebody who can take the top off the defense. So you got Amara working the middle of the field, also working deep. He can beat you anywhere on the field. You got Little Porter, who's killing you underneath, a touchdown monster. You got a great run game with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. What do you need next to take your game to the next level? That's a deep threat guy, a wide receiver. That's why they drafted him in the top 10. And with that health, being healthy off that knee injury and also getting his head together, not gambling, I think Jameson Williams has a chance to give you 800 yards with 7+ touchdowns. And those touchdowns are going to be long touchdowns. They're not going to be a slant touchdown. They're going to be 30 yards and out. So I love Jameson Williams as a sleeper. A lot of people are not drafting him. He's going like round 10, 11. Round 10 or 11. Okay. Guys, I'm going to get to all your comments. I'm going to get to these players quickly, and then I'm going to try to get to many of these comments I can. If you want your comment answered, for sure, make sure you super chat. Okay, my number 6 guy is going to be Jalen Tolbert from the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, guys, Jalen Tolbert. Now, I've been on Jalen Tolbert the whole year. They still don't got a number 2 wide receiver. If you think Brandon Cooks is going to be that guy, then he might be on paper that guy, but somebody has to break out. They can't depend on Brandon Cooks to keep the corners off of CeeDee Lamb with his new deal. I think Jalen Tolbert is going to have to step up. I love Jalen Tolbert just because of the opportunity. It's nothing else. I don't think he's going to be doing something crazy. I think he's going to be getting targets, and that's going to help him be a wide receiver 3 or a flex play for you in fantasy. And also Dynasty. I think he's a great buy low in Dynasty. So, guys, yes, I think Jalen Tolbert could be a good sleeper for you this year. Moving on to my number 7 guy. Nobody's talking about this guy, but it's going to be Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown from the Washington Commanders. Now, listen, the reason why I like Dyami Brown, guys, let's get the likes up. We got 37 people in the chat. Let's get the likes up. The reason why I like Dyami Brown, they traded Jahan Dotson. Okay. Are you bringing in Brandon Ayuk? It looks like they're going to bring in Brandon Ayuk, but until they bring in Brandon Ayuk, I'm going to say Dyami Brown is the number 2 wide receiver on his team. And back in college, Dyami Brown for the UNC Tar Heels was a great deep threat. So I believe with Jalen Daniels' deep ball accuracy, I think that's going to help Dyami Brown. I think that's what helped them move on from Jahan because they know Dyami is a great deep threat. So I love Dyami Brown, guys. He's the number 2 wide receiver on this team. You got to give him respect. We might not say, well, Dyami, no, I ain't Dyami. Terry McLaurin, Ben Sinnott. But guess what? Dyami Brown. You need to say Dyami Brown. All right, moving on to my next guy. This guy, and I've been talking about this guy the whole year. One of my favorite rookie wide receivers is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. Yes, guys, again, I've had this debate with many people. I've talked about why they bought in Brian Thomas and let Calvin Ridley walk. Brian Thomas is going to be a great boom bust type player to have on your team at the ADP that he's going. A lot of you don't want y'all, when you hear bust, it hurts your feelings. I don't give a damn about a bust because the rest of my team is going to complement that. And when that guy boom, don't say nothing then. When that guy boom, don't say nothing then. So, guys, you got to be able to know what players are and let them be part of a team. You're going to put an offensive lineman and expect him to be faster than Bo Jackson? You expect him to block. I expect Brian Thomas to get a few deep plays a game and connect on them. Kind of like a younger Gabe Davis. But a lot better, more athletic. So I love Brian Thomas. I think this guy could be a league winner for you in the fourth quadrant, which is the last 4 games, which is your fantasy football playoffs. So I love Brian Thomas. Moving on to my number 9 guy. My number 9 guy is going to be a quarterback. Yes, it's going to be a quarterback, and this quarterback is going to be Bo Nix. I'm high on Bo Nix. I love him because not that he's the best thing since sliced bread or he's going to beat C.J. Stroud record or any of that type of shit. I'm on Bo Nix because he's the starting quarterback and they're never going to bench him. Why would you start your rookie quarterback that you drafted in the top 10 picks and then bench him because he throw a pick or 2? You're not doing it. So this guy going to be trailing and he's going to be letting it go. Points. I don't care how you get there. Just get there. And that's what this guy's going to do. So I think Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton is a great sneaky tandem stack. I'm doing that. Not looking for Bo Nix to be a top 5 quarterback. Just need him to be serviceable for the team that I built around him. All right, moving on to my number 10 guy. This guy's kind of not a sleeper, but I had to put him on the video to make sure people are aware of him, and it's Chase Brown from the Cincinnati Bengals. And the reason why that I like Chase Brown, I think this guy is dynamic. He can catch great out the backfield. He can run the ball, and he showed as a smaller back, which is like, he ain't too small, pause, right? But he's more like 210. But he had more carries in college than a lot of these elite running backs like B. John Robinson, like Breach. He had more carries than them and stayed healthy, never got hurt. I don't think he missed a game in college, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, fact check me in the comment section right now. Did Chase Brown miss a college game and was getting 300 touches a season in the Big Ten against Michigan and Ohio State? So I love Chase Brown. I think this guy is going to be better than Zach Moss. Eventually, right? I don't think it's going to happen week 1, but in the fourth quadrant, you could have a league winner. Going on, we got 2 more guys, and then I'm going to get to the comments. I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you hit the like button. Brian Thomas was that 8th pick, Brian Thomas. So my number 11 guy is going to be Jalen Polk. Jalen Polk for the New England Patriots. Listen, guys, there's a lot of guys out there. You got DeMario, you got Polk, you got Javon Baker, you got Hunter Henry, you got Ramondre, you got Gibson. You got a lot of guys for the New England Patriots. But I'm betting on Jalen Polk because of his draft capital in the 2nd round, his skill set. If you watch him at Washington, I think this is the guy that I'm betting on. And guess what? If it don't hit, move on. These guys are low ADPs. A lot of you want to, you picked him. You don't know what you're talking about. Why you even got a channel? It don't matter. These guys are not the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or 5th, or 6th round picks. These are 10 picks or later type guys. So take a chance. That's why nothing's gonna really never happen for you in your life, because you're too safe. You got to be with a girl that's safe. You got to go drive a car that's safe. You got to get a job that's safe. You got to wear clothes that's safe. And you always got to eat food that's always going to be safe. And guess what? You're never going to enjoy it with the great things of life. You got to take a risk sometimes. People who are very successful in life, they took a risk. On a sound, Michael Jackson, with the sound that he does, he took a risk. Prince, he took a risk. So these are great risk opportunity cost guys. So I'm taking a risk on Jalen Polk to see what happens in New England. I know the offense might not be great, but somebody got to get the ball. Moving on to my number 12 guy. My number 12 guy is going to be a backup to a elite running back, which is Breece Hall. I call him Breach. I've liked Breach all year, but after a friend of mine was telling me about Braylon Allen, and I started doing some research, I'm like, man, I don't know if I think Breach going to get 350 touches. I think Braylon Allen is going to kind of be like a little bit of a David Montgomery type of guy. I think he's going to get 30% of the snaps at least. I don't want Breach Hall. And Breach Hall still might be top 5, so he's still good. Don't be scared to draft Breach Hall in the 1st round. But I'm just telling you, he got a backup that can play. And we've seen backups come in. We're like, well, the starter's great, but that backup is good too. So I just want y'all to be aware that Braden Allen from Wisconsin, one of the youngest players, like 6'1", 240 pounds, can run 4'5". This guy can play. He's an athletic freak. So just be aware of that and know that if Breach start getting sniped, don't panic. That's just what this offense is going to be. If you don't like that, then go ahead and trade Breach right now or don't draft him in the first round. But if you're okay with it, I still think the guy going to get goal line touches. I still think he's going to be a top 5 back. I just want you to know that Braden Allen is there and he can play. So, guys, let's get on to some of these questions. It's going to be a while. If you don't get a super chat, guys, I might not be able to get to your question because I probably only got about 10 minutes of answering questions. So, we got Ethan says, last Sunday and this Sunday are like National Fantasy Football Draft Day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rami says, TD in the house, watch your mouth. Charlene says, hey, TD, what's going on, Charlene? D Lion in the building, what's popping? Double tap the screen. Says Rami, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. D Lion says, Cody Schrader, deep stash. Bro, you've been talking about Cody all year, bro. I got to write him down, man. You've been talking about him all year, and I know you know your stuff. I know you know your stuff. So, Cody Schrader. Siobhan says, AJ Dillon out for season, neck injury. Wow, I haven't seen that. I haven't had a chance to see that. Damn, it's over for AJ. His career is over, and I think I hate to say that. I'm not going to ride him. It's just not the time to pause to ride him, right? To talk shit about him. It's an injury, so wow. I got him stashed in a lot of leagues, too. Silence says, Malik Washington is a sleeper. Yes, especially if Tyreek or Water go down, and he still could have a big play here and there, especially for Dynasty. Ethan says, my favorite 2 sleepers are Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Josh Downs. I love Tyrone Tracy Jr. as a rookie. And Josh Downs, when he comes back, is going to be the slot guy for the Indianapolis Colts. Ethan says, did you see Kadarius Toney and Isaiah Hodgins news? I saw the Kadarius Toney, but I didn't see the Hodgins. Did Hodgins get cut? I know Kadarius Toney did. I'm not surprised about that. I knew that. I'm surprised he even made it this far after what he did the last couple years. Hector says Malik Washington and Jordan Whittington. Yeah, I heard a lot about Jordan Whittington. We never know, man. We didn't know nothing about Puka Nacua at this point in time last year, so we never know. Gabe Barker says I like Cooks real late. Yes, as a late, who don't? I like everybody late, right? I think every girl's cute after 12 o'clock in the morning, right? Same thing, tomato, right? Rami says, yes, sir, Diami. Yes, Diami Brown. Wish Juju came back home now, man. Tell Juju, I don't know. I ain't gonna sit here and talk no shit because I respect Juju. But yeah, I'm not taking Juju. I'm not taking Juju in no form or fashion. Rami says, double tap the screen button and give TD the props. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Jawan Allen, what's up, Jawan? He said, Diami Brown, Jahan Dotson. Yeah, they let go of Jahan. I guess we got to go to Diami now. Somebody says, horrible. Only time gonna tell, bro. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. TB says, what round are you drafting Swift? I don't really like to focus on round. That's just looking at ADP and just going off ADP. But I would say round 7, round 8, if he's still there. I'm drafting him as an RB3 or a flex play. I don't want him as an RB2 or RB1. Not even as a 0 RB candidate. Now, if I got like James Conner and Swift, I'm okay with that. I think Swift is going to be okay. He's going to have some good weeks. He can play, but do you want to draft him with all these other running backs out here that got a lot of upside? The real PK3 says, my biggest sleeper is Marvin Mims. I like Marvin Mims, especially with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. I do like Marvin Mims, and with the kickoff return yardage. Somebody says, I agree with Sutton. Okay, appreciate you. Silence says, Malik Washington and Jonnu Smith are my sleepers. Thank me later. A lot of people like Malik Washington. Elwood says, I missed your 8th pick. My 8th pick was Brian Thomas. Elwood, appreciate you being here. Yes, sir. Juwan said, what was the take on Sutton? I have him. Bruh, he's good. You killing it. You got a sleeper. Keep him. Anytime, Elwood. Charlene says, my daughter helped me with the draft. I talked her. I wanted Chuba. I told her I wanted two, but she thought I said Chubbs. I will put Chubbs on hard. I got Hubbard in the next round. Accidental miracle. Right. I like the way you looked at that. That's facts. Siobhan says, Carson still running back for Kansas City. He made the 53-man roster today. He's my sleeper. That's a nice sleeper. Especially if anything happens to Pacheco, they will use him on goal lines. Gabe says, I've been buying what you're selling with Polk and taking him at the end of a lot of my drafts. Yes, sir, bro. I also like Douglas. Douglas going to be there too. There's a couple wide receivers that are going to be okay for this team. That's going to be able to give you serviceable outings. TZ says, get a wild chick. Yes, sir. Harami says, TD spitting facts. I'm trying to, bro. Guys, let's get the likes up. We got 42 people in here. I'm going to end this live right now if we don't get the likes up. I'm not going to sit here and be doing these lives for only 12 likes and I got almost 50 people in the chat. Come on, guys. Let's go. Show some respect. I'm not begging for anything, but you're watching the content, hit the like button. Or you could put the thumbs down. I'm okay with the thumbs down, but you got to hit something while you in here. Charlene said, there is no accidents in this world, just lessons. Yes. Ethan says, this is the first time I heard you say Brees. Yeah. Well, I say Brees sometimes. Depends on how professional and how many people in the chat. Sometimes I say Brees just to keep him there, then I'll let him know. But his name is Breach. Ethan says, Elwood says, nice call on the backup for Hall. Thank you. Somebody says, what do you think about Wicks and Greens Bay? I think he's good, but the only guy over there that I'm really looking to draft is Christian Watson for the upside. Not saying he's the only good one, but for the upside. I think Wicks is a great buy low for Dynasty. They might not resign Dobbs or somebody like that, and Wicks might move into the wide receiver 2 spot. Shit, it could be number 1. It could be wide receiver 1. Who knows? Sergio Torres says, who could I trade for Devontae Adams? 4. I know you can't get Malik Neighbors. DK Metcalf. I would go after DK Metcalf. I would try to get Puka Nacua if I could. Maybe Chris Godwin in another piece. Maybe Terry McLaurin. Those are a couple guys I think can help that you could trade Devontae Adams for. TB says, Alvin Kamara or Joe Mixon, what round are you drafting them both? Kamara, I'm taking him probably in the 4th or 5th round. Mixon, I'm not getting to Mixon, but I'll probably take him at the same round, 4th or 5th round. Just depends on which one I like. I like the passing, catching ability, so I'm going to go with Alvin in a 4-point PPR league. Charlene says, Tony got cut from Kansas City. Yeah, we've been waiting on that. Silence says, Kyron Williams is the new kick punt returner for the Rams this year. So if you had that in your league settings, that's a great uptick. Hodgins got cut. Okay, yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't even and y'all talking about Daniel Jones had weapons last year, and he getting those receivers. His number 2 wide receiver got cut. Barker says, I don't want Chiefs receivers too inconsistent. Massive target share with Kelsey, and the ceiling isn't that high because Mahomes moves the ball around. Facts. That's facts. But I'm willing to take him as a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 3. Just depends on who it is. Simon says, hello, people. Kyron Williams would be on special teams duty. I think that's okay. As long as he's still getting touchdowns. I got 4 more minutes. Chris Villa says, I have a feeling about Likely this year. A lot of good late tight ends. Right. I love Likely this year. Especially in tight end premium. Anthony, what's up? He says, I have Hall, Walker, both Pitt running backs as my RBs. I like that. I like you squeeze that backfield. That's what I call a squeeze between the Pittsburgh running backs. And Hall is going to be okay. Make sure you're okay with the backup Braylon Allen getting some snaps. Let's see. Somebody says, I subscribe. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Ethan Carey says, last year I took Nico Collins with the last pick in the draft. Who do you think I would be like that this year? Nico, I can't say Nico, but I think Brian Thomas could be that. I mean, I don't think he's the last pick in the draft. Last pick in the draft. Last pick in the draft. I don't see nobody last pick in the draft. No. I don't know who the last pick of the draft could be that guy, but I do like Brian Thomas as a breakout with a great ADP. Blair Chambers says, how about Mike Wilson? I think you have to draft him to see what he's going to do. I like Greg Dortch, so I might take Greg Dortch and let Michael Wilson go. But if I get Michael Wilson, I'm going to definitely hold him on my team and see what happens. He might be a good number 2 wide receiver on that team. Sergio says, Rashad White or ETN? I'm going ETN. I love ETN. Yes, everybody said ETN. David, what's up, bro? Akers, just another guy. Just like any running back could be another guy. Like Kareem Hunt was another guy last year. He was okay. So maybe Akers could be okay. Yeah, Mike Wilson, I think you got to draft him if you want to see what he's going to do. I'm taking Greg Dortch personally, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with taking Michael Wilson over Greg Dortch. Tyler Moore says, DK in the 6, good value after getting Amari and Puka. Yes, it's fantastic value. Alex, what's up, Alex? Alex says 10-team PPR. Caleb, Barkley, White. I don't really judge teams, Alex, unless you are a member. But I judge this team for right now. But usually you have to be a member. I got 4 different tiers. All I got to do is go to the description box, and you'll be able to find how you become a member. But you got Caleb, Barkley. I love Barkley. I love Jefferson. Harrison Jr. is okay. Waddle, Cowboys. I would get that team a B. I get that team a B, maybe B plus with Barkley and Jefferson, but you got to wait and see what Caleb. If Caleb hits like we think he is, it's a B plus team. I think Bryce Young is a great last pick. I think he's going to do a lot better than what he did last year. He's going to be serviceable, and that's all you need at this point in time. If he plays better, that's cherry on top. All right, guys. So listen, I got to get out of here. Make sure we get the likes up. Next time, guys, I come into a live, and we got 50 people in here, and I only got 10 likes. I'm going to end the live, and I just do a video later. I'm not going to make free content like that. You got to show some respect. Father 3 says, waited real late for tight end. Taysom Hill, Hunter Henry, Tyler Conklin, Juwan Johnson are available. I would go with, I like all those guys. I like Hunter Henry. I like Tyler Conklin, Juwan Johnson. That's tough, man. That's tough. I would say, I'm going to say Juwan Johnson slightly off the hair off of my chinny chin chin. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate it. He says, you awesome. Appreciate that, bro. Hector says, I wonder if the Commanders are going to pick up Terrence Marshall. They could. They probably need another body, so why not? Thank you, Sergio. He says, good luck this year. Alex says, thanks, brother. Anytime. Remy says, you the man, TD. We appreciate you. Thank you, bro. Sergio with the 100 symbol. And Michael, what's up, Michael? He says, I got a dynasty offer. He wants Keon Coleman. I got Zamir White. Should I do it? If you deep at running back, yes. Get Keon Coleman and stash him. If you deep at running back. If you don't have that many running backs, don't make the move. Because running backs, you need those bodies in the middle of the season. So if you deep, though, if you got 5 or 6 of them that you can start, then I'm saying go get that top wide receiver and stash them in Dynasty. They better value in Dynasty. Wide receivers are. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. Anytime, Charlene. Yes, sir. See y'all later. Peace.